Hey friends, today I'm going to walk you through how I made this purple and gold V-split tumbler with such a fun patterned vinyl. I'm going to take you through all of the steps to make this tumbler using CrystaLac products, although you can recreate this using whatever top coat that you use. All of the materials are linked under this video, and if you want to hear more about the thought process, like how the colors and all of the design work came together, make sure you follow me on Instagram because I am doing a special training this week on my Instagram stories on my close friends list. So I'll put a link to join that list underneath this video. It's completely free, and we're just going to dive deeper into what I can't fit in this YouTube video. This is by far one of my favorite color combination tumblers that I have ever made, and I can't wait to show you all of the steps. So if you're ready, hit that like button and let's get started. The first thing you need to do is prep and base coat your tumbler. I will link a video, but you can use any base paint that you want, and then you want to measure how far your V split, right, how far your vinyl you want it to go down. And I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger. I want it to be about 5.5, so I cut it at 6 inches. And then I'm going to measure before I put it on my tumbler, and then just line it up as best you can. You don't need it to line up with the top. You want to line up the V where you want it. And I'm doing two glitter pieces, right? A strip of chunky and then a fine. So I wanted to keep that in mind as I place my vinyl. I'm using blue painter's tape to sort of hinge my vinyl down so it doesn't move while I get it in place. Once you get your first piece of that vinyl stuck down, you can take off that blue tape, peel back the backing, and use a squeegee tool or your fingers to apply that vinyl. If you want more information about how to apply printed vinyl, stick around to the end and I will put a video up on your screen. So you want to make sure that you get it nice and smooth. If you have any bubbles, use your X-Acto knife to kind of cut through those holes and your finger to brush it out. So to trim the top, I pull tightly over the edge. You want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles or ridges around the rim. So go through and make sure that it is attached really, really well, and then use a super sharp X-Acto knife to trim around the top. You want to make sure that it is really sharp, otherwise you're just not going to get a good cut. Angle your knife towards your tumbler and be careful that you don't cut yourself, and then take your hands and just make sure that it is fully flat and there are no ridges or bumps. I am going to tape off where I will put my chunky glitter so I can do the fine glitter on the other spot. Again, I'm just using blue painter's tape, and it's a thicker one, but you can use whatever you have to add that chunky glitter. I'm going to do a gold, and then I'm going to do Lilac from Glitzy Kreations. I will link all the supplies underneath this video. To apply this purple glitter, I am using paint. I'm using the Purple Delight Flippin' Awesome paint. Now, you get really good coverage with this paint, so I just am going to paint this on and apply my glitter. If you're using a paint that you don't get the best of coverage, you might want to do a coat, let it dry, and then do a second coat when you apply. And then I'm just going to add my glitter right to that wet paint. You can also let it dry and use glitter glue or your grand finale to apply your glitter, whatever you want. This just saves a couple hours of drying, so I put it right on that wet paint. I let this dry completely, and then I sealed the purple glitter. Now you have different options in terms of the steps here, but this is what I like to do. Even if it does take a little bit longer, I want to make sure that none of my glitter mixes. I want very sharp edges when it comes to this V-split. So I'm using the CrystaLac glitter glue to seal my glitter. I'm going to leave my tape on because I don't really need it. I don't need to seal the part where there's no glitter yet. So I'm just going to take this blush brush and cover my purple glitter with the glitter glue. It does help to have a little bit of dampness on your brush to help it spread out evenly. It just helps a little bit, but that's definitely optional. So once you get your cup sealed with the glitter glue, let it dry for 2 hours. I usually put it on my cup turner to spin for that time. I am going to flatten it before I go further because remember, the flatter your glitter is, the easier the process is throughout the whole thing. And then I'm going to remove the tape. And I'm sorry, but this might be the most satisfying tumbler making activity, but I love removing the tape and getting those crisp lines. And now what I'm gonna do is an optional step, but I am gonna seal the entire cup with one coat or two coats of Bright Tone or Grand Finale, whatever you have. I am using Bright Tone in this video. The reason I do this is the glitter glue that I just put over that purple paint dries tacky. So if I get glitter on the purple paint, it's going to stick. If I do 2 coats of the Grand Finale first, it's a lot easier to brush it off and I get no contamination. So then I painted the brown paint as a base coat for my gold chunky glitter. I mixed this up with the CrystaLac paints and brown pigment. You'll see I did tape off the purple glitter and the vinyl so I could get another crisp line. I added this right to my brown paint, and then I'm gonna take my finger and tap it down. Anytime I do chunky glitter, I always tap it down to get it as flat as possible. Let this dry, and then I removed the tape here and you'll see you get nice crisp lines as well. Just be careful with the chunky glitter. If there's a lot of overlap over your paint, it could peel up, just the nature of it being chunky, so just be careful when you remove your tape. Literally obsessed with this color combination because I want to make sure I don't have to do 1,000 coats over my chunky glitter. I sealed it again with glitter glue. I didn't really put it on the purple, just the gold. And in the meantime, I'm going to create my strips in Silhouette Studio. Again, these are just rectangles, and you're going to do a bunch of different widths. I like to line them up, get as many as I can on my vinyl, and then I keep them for later. So I have some that are smaller and some that are thicker, you know, depending on what I'm looking for in my design. I actually didn't know when I was doing this. So I did, you know, half kind of slim and a few a little bit thicker, and then I always put it on and kind of see how it looks. Whether you have Silhouette Studio or Cricut Design Space, you're going to cut those rectangles out of vinyl. This is just permanent vinyl. It is nothing fancy. And then you're going to apply the vinyl after you get the cup smooth. So I didn't go through the steps of getting it smooth, but I will link a video in the top right corner right now about how to do a cup with Grand Finale. But you're going to go through the process of getting it smooth. You can see that it is dull because I sanded it and I realized that it was level and ready for vinyl. I thought that thin strips worked well for this tumbler, so I went with the thin ones for this tumbler, and then I'm using my X-Acto knife to trim the vinyl strips where they meet at that point so we can get nice clean edges. So as soon as your surface is smooth enough, you can add those pieces of vinyl. Again, I'm going to link a video to go through that entire process. Once you get your vinyl strips on, I usually like to let it dry a couple hours, especially because they are thin. Let it dry a couple hours, and then you're going to continue on with your coats to get this tumbler completely smooth. I do recommend cutting out your vinyl strips in various sizes so you can kind of see what works well, because sometimes the thin strips look really good, sometimes thicker strips look good, sometimes a thick strip with a different color on top and a little bit thinner, like a double layer, works really well too. So just play around with it, but the black just really brought this whole design together because there's a little bit of black on this vinyl. So once you get your vinyl placed and let it dry, you're going to continue up your coats to get a smooth surface. In this particular video, I'm using the CrystaLac Bright Tone, but you can use Grand Finale. Whatever you have, you should use. This cup came together so well, and I hope you join me on Instagram to see my thought process behind the design. If you want to learn more about using printed vinyl or pattern vinyl and how to apply it, click the video up on your screen right now.